Good evening. I have two independent bottles here, both of them from the Bunnahabhain distillery. This one here is a heavily peated 10-year-old from Gordon and MacPhail. It's a Discovery series, I think it's called. And this one here is a Signatory vintage, 7-year-old, vintage 2014. So, and this one is at 46% ABV. And this one is at 43% ABV. So it's the independent versus the independent. Okay. So I'm going to pour. Oh, it's tight. Tight at first, but then it comes open easy. I believe this particular video was suggested by Donner Pass Whiskey, who suggested that I try these two side by side after they've been open for a while. Well, they've been open a while, and I'm going to try them side by side. Both are quite light in color. This one's a little bit more amber, and this one's a little bit more straw colored, but they're both light. They're both pretty light. So, ex-bourbon barrels from what I understand. Carefully matured in our own casks with spirit entrusted to us from Bunnahabhain Distillery. That's what it says on Gordon and MacPhail. And of course, Gordon and MacPhail gets their dibs on bottles. There, maybe you can see that now. Maybe that works. And like so, and like that. Yeah. So you see that there. Do I have a white sheet of paper? Good question. No, I don't, but I have some labels. How's that? A little bit more straw, a little bit more amber, but both light. And does this one say Stowisha heavily peated? I hope I pronounced that right. Distilled at Bunnahabhain. Distilled on and bottled on. Date number and everything. Cask numbers 10-105-86, 106-8, 608, and 106-18. Yeah, natural color. Okay. I will start with the 10-year-old Gordon MacPhail. See who bottles a better. Get this. I'm not used to working with a phone. Usually I'm working with the computer, but the microphone and the camera on the computer are too high to show you the two bottles on the table, because the table is only about, I don't know, a meter wide, that way. So I'd have to have the computer much lower, or I'd have to have something up here to stand these bottles on so that the camera on the computer could get it. Anyway, how do you like my tie? Lisa got it for me. She might be joining me later this evening. But we'll see. Oh, I'm not really good with this camera. There. I'm trying to keep things centered and working. Maybe I'll go this way a little bit. Okay, now that might be it. Okay. I get smoke and citrus. to lemon citrus, or is it more of a lemon, lime, and orange, indistinct citrus? I often get citrus with my peated. Lemony, vanilla, caramel, probably ex-bourbon, yeah. Now, what does the Signatory give me? Oh. The Signatory doesn't appear to give me as much of a nose as the Gordon MacPhail. I have to dig deeper here to get something. Ah, now it's coming up. Once again, citrus fruit, bit of creosote. But the peat is not very heavy. It may say heavily peated on there, but it's nothing like an Ardbeg or a Lafroig or even a Lagavulin. No, it's here again. Yeah, once again, citrus, caramel. A little bit of smoke. Oh, this one reminds me more of olives. And it's a little more malty than the 7-year-old is a little more malty than the 10-year-old from Gordon and MacPhail. Both smell really good. Okay. Okay, I'm going to taste the Gordon MacPhail. Oh, that is nice. A burst of citrus, some smoke, and a citrusy finish. Let me do it again. Citrus and creosote and a little bit of honey and some vanilla, some caramel, and smoky all the way through to a smoky finish. And I like it. I like it a lot. Now we'll be moving over to our Signatory bottled at 46%. You know, this is a very similar experience, but it's more woody. And I would have expected the 7-year-old to be less woody. But maybe these were first fill, and the others were not first fill. Okay, it's matured in decharred and recharred hogsheads. That's why I'm getting the wood. Okay, that's good to know. And the other ones are probably bourbon barrels. Okay, that makes sense. I'm getting more wood here because it was recharred. I'm also getting about the same level of peat, 20 ppm maybe. Yeah. The Signatory is a lot like the Gordon MacPhail, but I'm getting a lot more wood. I'm getting the same amount of peat. I'm getting the same very similar notes in terms of citrus and in terms of caramel and vanilla and that, but there's a lot more wood happening on the Signatory Bunnahabhain than on the Gordon MacPhail Bunnahabhain. Both are real nice. I didn't think I would say this about a more woody whiskey, but I think the more woody one has a little more complexity. Well, the wood dominates much more than the citrus and the smoke on the other. And I kind of like the wood in this instance. What also probably helps the Signatory is it's bottled at 46% ABV rather than 43% ABV for the Gordon MacPhail. So there's a little more going on, a little more alcohol to carry the flavors over to the palate. I like both of them, but you know what I'm going to make? It's still a single malt if I mix the two. So here's my mix of the two, the Gordon MacPhail and the Signatory. Now that's just about perfect because it takes the stronger citrus from the Gordon MacPhail and it takes the wood notes and the creosote notes from the Signatory and puts them all together and makes for a delicious blended. No, it's a single malt. It's still a single malt because it's all from the same distillery. But now I can only call it 7 years old because that's the youngest that's in there. Well, you asked for it, Tim. Slanchova.
Food Quig.
Food Quig.
Food Quig.
Food Quig.
Food quick.
Yeah.